How are you?
Good.
I would say good morning, good afternoon. Where are you located currently?
I'm in California.
California. I take it you're on a student visa?
Yes.
F1?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Have you broken any immigration laws? Have you stayed beyond the limit of time?
No.
No, not at all? Okay. How long until you have your visa available?
Just got my I-20 yesterday from new school, so it's active until 2023.
2023. Okay. So everything's on status. All right. So what we will do with you will be an adjustment status. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Pretty much the same phases, because it's 3 phases, will happen. But the difference that you don't have to present yourself in the consul from the original country. You can do it within inside the United States. And we can also apply for an I-765, which will be a temporary permit to work legally, and the sponsorship that will give you the sponsor. So you will be able to work while you're already staying in the United States. But everything, all the other process is pretty much the same thing. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So since you're having a meeting with me, I take it that you already looked over the whole information, who we are, what we offer, the sponsors we have available, the timetables. Correct?
Correct.
Have you looked over it? Okay. Any specific doubts or questions that I can help you with?
The concern is just basically because I'm not sure how many cases have been successful because there's no community that just want to make sure, because it's kind of like a big process and big investment to do. So I'm not sure you guys have any like review or cases that been successful from.
You can find us in trustpilot.com, www.trustpilot.com.
Yeah, I saw it there. So it's your review.
Because this is not a sales pitch, like I explained. This is like a legal procedure. Okay? So we're not advertised because in reality, our client is not you. It will be the sponsorship. So let's use the biggest chain, which is IHOP. You know what IHOP is, right?
Correct.
Okay. So the ones that are requesting that EB3 visa, which is base employment visa, is them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And, MCC Immigration, what they do is they fulfill that vacancy or whatever it is that they need, which will be an employee. The reason it falls under that EB3 visa is because it's non-skilled workers. Work that Americans don't want to do. So they have to prove to the Department of Labor that they cannot fulfill the demand of employees that they require or that they need. Follow me?
Yeah.
So our client is IHOP. So that's what our credentials and who we are, who we represent, is in the franchise that we represent. You are free to call their office and find out who is working on their migrations, human resources to recruit workers for them, which will be us.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So that's the reason it's not publicized like people from outside the country can go apply for this visa. They can't. They have to be under sponsorship. So in reality, the one requesting the visa is the client, not you guys, even though you're the beneficiary out of it. Does that kind of make sense to what I'm trying to explain?
Yeah. So most of the company I contact, usually they have a sponsor or more information about the sponsor. But you guys had it provided on the website, which is really
You
clear.
have that in the package? No. When you have set up a meeting, we send you an email.
No. I said the other company, not you guys.
Oh, other companies. Yeah. Because from what I know, we are extremely clear and transparent in everything we do with who we work with. We even give you the name of the lawyer that's going to representing your case. Because the lawyer, see, this is a trick. The lawyer doesn't work for MCC Immigration. The lawyer works for that company, like IHOP, and works for you. Because if they are the ones giving you the job or work on the MCC Immigration, will be a conflict of interest, and they will be disbarred from practicing law in the United States. Because they can't be the one doing your legal process and giving you a job. It's a conflict of interest. So we even tell you it's the La Fuente Law Group, which is based in Miami, Florida. They have over 22 years of experience in immigration. You can call them, ask them, call the law firm. So we are very transparent when it comes to the way we do our process.
Yeah.
Okay.
So usually, will they update new sponsor or whatever have on the website? That's the only thing you have at this moment.
No, the website basically gives you information. When you are serious about this process, and I will be able to send you an email, I'll send you a link, like a Google Drive link, where you can click and get the latest drive of sponsorships available in the cities and the jobs available. That's why we give you a drive. So because that's the latest update. So right now you will be able to open the file and choose which city, which employee, which labor you want to achieve.
Do you guys have anything in California or only in Miami and Wisconsin?
No, we don't really have it in Miami. We have in Florida, Kentucky, and Georgia at this very moment. Also, if you have a special license and you can drive a long haul, we have a company in Ohio. But that contract's for 2 years of labor because they pay you a lot more. But I don't know if you have a driver. I don't want to be sexist. I don't know if you have a driver license that you can drive long haul.
No, not too much for me. Yeah, I saw Florida because I actually went to Georgia last week to want to see a company over there. But I didn't met them. But so the list, so you guys will send us after we sign applications and pay. So usually the payment would be, how's that work for that? Through a card or check?
How do I say your name? Tan, right? Tan?
Tan, yes.
Tan. Okay. Depends on, okay, you're serious about this process or you're just looking to skim through it? Like, are you serious? Like, this is a possibility you really want?
Oh, yeah. Because that's why I flew to Atlanta.
What I want to do is I want to cover your fears. And obviously one of the biggest fears is the trust issue, right? So let me explain to you how it will work, okay? There's 3 different phases in the process, okay? Before we even start the first phase, which doesn't even belong to you, it belongs to the company and the Department of Labor, is called the 9089 certificate, which is they have to prove to the United States government, the Department of Labor, DOL, that they cannot fulfill the vacancy and they need to require an outside worker. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Before this first process starts, the first thing you do is you choose the location, the employee, and the labor that you want to achieve. I will send you a job application. You fill out a job application very carefully. I will give you the detailed information on how to fill it out. You give it back to me. I upload it to HR resources in their system because it depends which employee you want. They will review your file and most likely, other than Sony's and iHub, everybody else requires a little bit of experience and a little bit of English, which I see you have no problem with that. So they will require an interview. Juliana, who is in charge of the department of with the client and you guys, he makes an appointment so you guys can set up a meeting, an interview. Once you get approved by the employee, the sponsorship, right, and you have a job offer, meaning IHOP, waitress or front desk receptionist in a hotel, as an example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Once you get approved, then I will send you a contract. Okay? When you give us a contract, it obviously is with a payment, proof of payment, and the first $5,000 will come in. It will be a wire transfer to a bank. That's a regular payment that you pay Amazon. That's a wire transfer, okay? So the first installment is $5,000 to initiate the whole process. The first process takes between 3 to 8 months, 4 to 8 months, because I have to tell you that legally because it takes around 180 days for that 9089 process to be approved. But as I'm telling you that, doesn't mean we're starting today. It's been done before. So you could get approved in 2 weeks or in 3 months, but I cannot promise you the timetables. So we are legally to say between 4 to 8 months. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's point number 1. After you get approved by the 9089, that second installment of $5,000 comes in, so we can do the biggest one, which is the I-140. The one I-40 is the investigation by Homeland Security and Immigration to make sure you're not a threat to the United States. Okay? So again, all these processes are done through lawyers. Don't make sure everything's done properly. Okay? There's government fees. Do not include in your work fee with migration MCC migration, okay? Which is your investigation through immigration, your consul meeting, your medical exams, and your immigration fees, which is to actually get your green card and your social security card, okay? So those are government expenses, don't come from us. Immigration takes around 7 to 11 months to get approved or get investigated. That's what takes the longest, and is the most difficult one. They have to make sure they don't have any reason to have a red flag with you. You're not a threat to the United States. This, they give you an option that if you pay an additional $2,500, $2,500, you could be eligible to be investigated within 15 labor days without counting weekends and holidays. So imagine from 7 to 11 months, you get approved in 15 days. Okay, but that's an option they give you. It's not us, it's them.
Mm-hmm.
Once that's passed and we're ready to move on to the final stage, which is a meeting with the inside of the United States, you can have a meeting with a consul, like sort of what you did to get your visa to study, but within inside the United States. There will be the last $6,000 for the last process, which is the last paperwork file that the lawyer must do, which I already told you, Michelle Alba from De La Fuente Law Group in Miami, Florida. They're the ones handling all the cases. Okay? They will prep you. They will get you ready for this meeting. They will do a mock interview. Like, they will make sure that you're ready for this meeting. All the paperwork you need, your medical exams. The medical exams obviously depends on your city, but they're around $200. Each meeting with a consul will be around $345 per person. It benefits you and your husband and your children if they're under the age of 21. Or in this case, I think it's just you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then that will be the final meeting with the consul just to get you approved. At that point, they will obviously apply for the I-765, which is like a temporary permit to work while you're waiting for this whole process to be over.
Mm-hmm. You were about to say something.
Yeah, after that, you should be done. You work, you fulfill your 12 months. Within 2 weeks of the final process, and you pay the $220, which is the immigration fee, is to send to Texas so they can print out your green card and your social security card. It will get to your lawyer's office. Within 2 or 4 weeks, they'll give it to you in your house. They'll send the shipment to your house.
So
when you'll be legal, you'll be arrested. It's not temporary work anymore. After that, you're legal. In 5 years, you can become a citizen. In 10 years, you can renew residency if you choose to, and not become a citizen. It's like renewing your driver's license in a way.
Okay. So when do you actually have to move there in order to do the process? Because I know...
As soon as you start working with a company.
So for the medical exam and the interview, can you do it where you located right now, or have to fly to different states to do that?
Let me put it this way. It all depends where your meeting is going to be at. I think obviously your lawyer will ask you which city you're going to be located in,
mm-hmm.
where they're doing this process, because they need obviously a place of where you live, and she'll probably send you to a specific doctor that the consul would want you to go. You can't go to your own doctor; they have to send you to a specific doctor, where they're going to do all your exams. The vaccine, the COVID vaccine is already mandatory. You have to do the vaccine.
I already did.
Yeah, you have to do the vaccine. You have to make sure that once they are approved of, you don't have tuberculosis, any sexually transmitted diseases, medical history. Basically, they have to build a medical history for you. But obviously, the doctor, and they'll take care of that for you.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to see the timeline because I'm in California. So if you said that, sometimes you have to request and go to Florida.
The first process, the 9089 process, between 4 to 8 months. Again, you could be approved in 2 weeks or 2 months. I don't know. But it's between 4 to 8 months. The second process, between 7 to 11 months investigation. If you want to hurry that up, it could be 15 days. So see how it changes. And you can you don't know what could happen, because if you get arrested, if you have any problems, any legal problems, everything's going to get annulled. You understand? Everything's going to get canceled. Especially if you're already inside the United States. That's one of the first questions: have you broken any migration laws? Like, people had a tourist visa and they stayed over 6 months. They broke the law. They're not eligible. Mm-mm. They broke the immigration law. So that's what I'm saying. Something could happen. So what I'm saying is get this process over with and become legal as soon as possible. And the last, to get a meeting, it depends on the city and the consul. Like, how long does it take to give you a meeting? It's between 3 to 5 months. but it could be in a week. Oh, I have openings. You know, like the way you set up a meeting with me, it depends on how the openings you have available.
Okay.
So, but we're instructed to tell you between 3 to 5 months, meaning the whole process could take between 16 to 24 months in total. The longest case I've seen that got audited is 22, 23 months, but that's like very rare. But I cannot tell you less than that because then, Leo lied to me. I can't lie to you.
Yeah, people have just different
it could be a lot
times.
sooner. Like, let's say you apply right now, you get approved in 2 months, you pay the 15 days, and then you get a council meeting. Within 7 to 8 months, it could be. You're done within a year.
Yeah.
And you're already legal in the United States. All you have to do is make sure you pay you 12 months of employment. They're going to pay you the wages that everybody gets paid, so you don't get abused in that sense. It's not just because you're an immigrant, you're going to get paid less. The wages are done by the Department of Labor within the county that you're going to be working for. It's not the same thing working in Dade, Miami, Florida, than working in Jacksonville. You know, it's different payment because the standard of living is cheaper or higher. Or living in New York than living in Georgia, different higher. So, go ahead.
So you choose a company first, and then you only pay when you get accepted from that sponsor. But then if you don't get accepted, are you allowed to choose different company?
I mean, yeah. Obviously, we'll recommend if something didn't work out, we go for a different company. Yes.
Okay.
Our job, basically, I'm working there's different branches, obviously, you know that, right? Different departments. I'm working in the migration consulting to make sure your inquiries are adjusted to any doubts that you may have, how the process works for you to do this legally, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But Juliana handles the whole employment department, which once you become a client, once you pay the $5,000, you go into her department. You have to get accepted first by the employer, by the sponsorship. If not, what's the joke? There's no case.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure you're going to get employed, and that employer has someone to sponsor. So first, that's the first step. Find out which job you got to apply, you got to prove, and then we move forward.
So when you are in school, so when you actually start studying or inform them that you're gonna change your status?
Well, once you become an American, like you have your green card, you don't need any permit to study. You can study.
Oh, so you cannot stop when you receive the labor?
Like some people may have tourist visa, and it's like, what happens to my tourist visa once I become? Like, why would you need a tourist visa? You're already American. You can come to the United States whenever you want. You live in the United States. You're American. You're resident. So, as a resident of the United States with a green card, of course you can study wherever you want. You don't need that permit. It's not longer a permit.
So I think you can stop studying when you change your status, correct, for the I-45.
If you don't want to, you're an American. If you don't want to study, you don't have to study.
Okay. No, I just know because I think that had to do with the process for the school to stop study too. You know, because I just want to see how that works.
Yeah. So if you get lucky and you do everything within 8 months and you want to stop studying, but you already got your green card, yeah, you're good to go. You no longer have a permit to study. Matter of fact, like I said, many people get revoked that tourist visa, and they get afraid. I'm like, why? You're going to become a residency of the United States. As a legal resident, it's almost like a citizen. Until 5 years later, that you can apply to become a citizen. The only thing you cannot do is vote or run for political office. That's it. Other than that, you can do whatever you want. So once you get that green card, you don't have to continue studying if you don't want to. Will you tell Mr. Smith you have to study? No, right? Mr. Smith can do whatever he wants.
So I read the questions there that you also mentioned that B visa as a tourist are not allowed to change the status, or they allow.
What do you? I mean, when you start this process, you're not requesting a tourist visa anymore.
No. I said for somebody else. If they come here as a tourist visa, are they allowed to do that? Because I saw the questions.
They should not stay in the United States. Go back to their country.
Okay.
You understand? Because that means you will break the law to stay. So this whole process takes between 16 to 18 months. You're only allowed to stay in the United States 6 months.
I don't know, because some people said yes.
Remember, my first question was, have you broken any immigration law? You cannot break any immigration law. Matter of fact, it's not even recommended. If you don't have a tourist visa, it's better. It's better. You understand? Because it's different. It's a different perspective. Now the consul in the last meeting, they want you to stay in the United States, produce in the United States, and spend money in the United States. They don't want you to go back to your country with the money. So when you're a tourist, they're asking you, why will you come back? You won't stay in the United States. See, everything changes. Everything switches. They want to make sure you come back to your country. When you're doing this process, the EB3, they want you to stay in the United States. So if you have a tourist visa, that way you may decide, you're going to be a tourist or you're going to stay there as a citizen. What do you want to do? So my suggestion is it's even better if they don't have a tourist visa. But if they do, don't worry, just don't travel. Stay in your country.
Yeah, because the thing is, some company, if they do paperwork for people from overseas come here, it's more expensive. And people try to come here at the tourist visa, so it's cheaper, so they can save that money, and then they change to EB3.
Yeah, but if you work illegally in the United States, you're also breaking the law.
Yeah, so that's why I just want to confirm.
Oh, stay in your country.
So they can, you guys can help them from the country. Is that the same amount? Is that the same price?
Yeah, yes. And it has to be paid always in the United States accounts through a wire transfer, a bank transfer. Same thing as you would pay in the United States. It depends on country. I know that mainland China, India, Afghanistan, one other country, and one more country I'm forgetting right now. The Philippines are denied right now. They're backlogged for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The country only gives you 7% per country to be able to apply for this visa.
Okay, good to know.
Okay.
I think beside that, I don't have any questions to ask because I already looked up everything.
Okay. So what will be the next step? Do you want me to send you another email with the link so you can look at the jobs available?
Yes.
Available jobs?
That would be great.
Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. I don't want to come across mean.
No, please straight up.
Do you have the funds to be able to do this process? Because what I'm afraid of that, I have the first $5,000. Okay, but that's not going to get you to the end of the line. Because if you start a process, the 9089, and then 2 weeks you're done, you're ready to do the I-140, and you don't have the money, how are you going to continue?
I've been saving.
Okay, no, that's what I'm saying. I don't want to come across rude. The only thing I do request people is that when you start the process, make sure you can finish it. Because then it's a waste of money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me explain why this is important. Not just for you, but also for us, that we're giving the word to IHOP that you're going to be able to work for them. So if we already put you in the process and you get approved for the job and you don't finish the process because of lack of payment, then we're losing a vacancy that we could offer to somebody that wants to have the job.
Mm-hmm. So basically, they have to pay right away after the paper process. So you mean that you're just afraid the time frame is short because it depends on the cases and depends on the people, right?
Each case is different. You and your sister could have the same case. You will be done in 7 months. She'll be done in 20 months.
Mm-hmm.
Same case, same city, same country, same house. You will be approved in 7 months. She will be approved in 20 months. Everybody's different. That's the first thing Michelle makes sure that we express. So, like I said, but the thing is, I know that we're in good timing. So you could get approved. The only thing we also require is to make sure that you can pay for the whole process. You can say later, listen, guys, I can only pay you $5,000. This is business. This is to pay the lawyers. If we can't pay the lawyers, we can't continue with your process. That's simple. You know what I mean? It's like, if you don't pay for the food, you can't eat the food.
Mm-hmm. No, I think you just phrase it different, but I got what you mean. So if it's fast and it's long, like for the first payment, if it's faster than expected, because some people would think like, oh, it will take me 3 to 6 months to pay, so I still have time to do that.
That's what I'm afraid of. People think, oh, I have time to save up. Maybe you don't.
So yeah.
And that's another thing. If you're gonna invest $16,000, right? Because it's a lot of money. It's not $30 in gap. It's $16,000, right? And it's a process that takes you 22 months, give or take, obviously, give or take, right? But you can pay $2,500 and get it done in 15 days. And you're already inside of the United States. You can start working for the employer right now. That benefits everybody. We fulfill with our client. You can start working, and you can receive your green card real quick.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense for you to wait 7 to 11 months. And another thing, unconsciously, this again, my opinion, not a fact. is that if you're willing to pay $2,500 to get investigated through I-140 process, right? What are the chances that you're hiding something? Why would you waste your money if you're not going to be eligible? So this whole process, the reason we're so secure of it is because it's a process of requirements, not of subjective. So when you get a visa to be a tourist or to be a student, a consul has to like think about it. Will you come back or are you going to stay in the United States, right? This is different. This requirement, United States company, IHOP, is requesting the government for help. They're going to fulfill all the requirements that they want, and they want to make sure you fulfill every single requirement. If you fulfill the requirements, there is no reason to get denied. Everything's up by America. American law is black, white is white, 10 plus 10 is 20, period. There's no 21, maybe 19, no, it's 20. So everything's done properly. So there's no reason why you should get denied. That's why we're so secure. The only thing that it will make sure it doesn't happen is you don't have the money, or you're associated with a terrorist group, or you have a health issue. That would be the only reason why you wouldn't get denied.
Got it.
So I'm sorry if I came across.
Oh no. I got what you mean, but I for me I got it, but I don't think people will. It's saying that it should. I think, just my opinion, my suggestions. So I think you just put like just for your informations, and its time can be changed faster or longer. You should prepare that money in advance. So it's like if you get the paper fast, you can just pay that. Because when people hear that, they don't understand. They think that you come up rude.
Right. It's not just that. It's that.
But I got what you mean. There's no hurt.
Conversations to me last 5-10 minutes. I know people are wasting time.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, you did come in late to the meeting, so you wasn't in the meeting when I came. So I don't know how serious you are as a potential. You understand? So many people think I'm a salesman. I'm not selling you anything. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to explain. So what I'm saying is, if you have the money available, like I had an Australian kid the other day telling me, well, I can get a sponsorship because I'm an athlete. Are you Ronaldo? Are you Beckham? You know, like you have to be like Shakira to get that EB1 visa, worldly recognized as an athlete. Well, I can work for a club. No, it has to be a major league for you to get approved. So he was just wasting my time asking me 20 questions. And at the end of the day, he was like, well, I don't have enough money. I'm just going to marry my girlfriend. So
no, that's too much. No, for me, because I find a company that's super transparent, and I found two. One of them in North Carolina, and you guys, but I also have about three Vietnamese representatives, but they don't have enough information to provide it to me. They consult me really well, but they don't have the information of the company post on the website. They don't have anything like that. So I just
also look where you will deposit the money.
No, but the thing is, one of my friends actually doing the process with them. That's why I flew to Atlanta, Alabama, and I went to that factory too. She do a chicken company. So they do have, but they're just not professional. And I'm finding a company that I can just and also do for myself, and I can refer for my friends. That's my purpose.
Okay. So my final suggestion is I'm going to make sure you have the money in advance so you don't get stuck in the process.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to the school pay 30 grand. So So yeah, my school right now is 30 grand. So it's just, yeah. So I've been waiting found this. I just didn't know this type of visa, and I don't want to do marriage, So I think, yeah. So I'm
especially from a young lady like you. You shouldn't. It's not worth it. It's the risk. It's a risk. It's a complete risk. And if they find out you're lying, or sometimes, to be quite honest, I wouldn't recommend my sister to do something like that. You don't know the man you're marrying. You don't know what kind of person he will abuse his power. You don't want to give nobody that type of opportunity over.
Mm-hmm.
And if they find out it's a lie, it's not really love or really marriage, it's worse. And then you can't come back from that. Like when they do that I-140 investigation, they'll find this out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and also I want to find a state I want to work, because the other company, they only have North Carolina or Alabama. I don't like it. So
go to Tallahassee. Go to Jacksonville. We have Jacksonville, Tallahassee. We got Memphis. There's a hotel in Memphis.
It's just way too countryside. Miami, I mean Florida, because I lived there before. near Destin. So I just want to have many options, you know, to choose.
Okay. Well, I'm going to send you an email with the city and the options we have available right now. And you let me know what you have chosen. If you want to go ahead and move forward, let me know so I can send you the application and then the contract. It's up to
Okay.
you. Does it sound good?
Sounds good. You guys have 3 payment. That's good because some company only have 2 and it's big amount.
I understand.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. I'm looking forward for that application from you.
Okay. So I'll send you that email. Respond me to that email. Well, we already have an email right now. So
Correct.
I'll send you the link again so you can take a look at the package. Okay.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good one.
Thank you so much for your time.
Nice to meet you, and I'll send you the email now.
Okay. Thank you.
Let me
Bye bye.
know.